Okay, question 68 says a study of the size of jury awards in civil cases such as injury, product liability, and medical malpractice in Chicago showed that the median award was about 8,000, but the mean was 69,000. Explain how the great difference between these measures of center can occur. So how could the median of all these cases be $8,000, but the mean, or the average, was 69,000? What had to happen to make the mean that much more than the median? Make sure you explain this clearly. And then in 69, you want to measure the average speed of vehicles on the interstate highway on which you're driving. You adjust your speed until the number of vehicles passing you equals the number you're passing. So basically, you put yourself in the middle. Have you found the mean speed or the median speed? So by putting yourself in the middle of all those vehicles, have you found the average speed that they're going, or have you found the median speed that they're going? Okay, so just think about where you're at compared to what those two words mean. All right, so that takes you through all of the questions for chapter 1, and that takes you through chapter 1. Now, on chapter 1's test, there's a certain amount of things that you're going to be looking for, and there's just some things I need you to know as we go to the test for chapter 1. Basically, these review exercises are very important. But really, what we're looking for in chapter 1, and I'm just going to name a few things, the key is mean and median. Obviously, you need to know the difference between them. You need to know how to calculate them. You need to know how to calculate standard deviation by hand also. You need to know the IQR. You need to know how to calculate an outlier. 1.5 times IQR, add that to Q3, subtract that from Q1. You need to know, speaking of Q3 and Q1, you need to know how to get a 5-number summary. That means how to get the minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the maximum. That comes from StatEdit. You need to learn how to turn your plots on, StatPlot. You need to know how to make a line graph, how to make a time plot, how to make a box plot, how to make a bar graph, how to make a histogram. So all the things that we've been doing, you need to just refresh yourself, make sure you know how to do it when you're given the data. The most important thing in this chapter really is that you know how to do inference or make a conclusion on this stuff. So you need to know how to make a conclusion when you're given this data. So don't just answer it on the test. If it asks you to justify your answer, you got to make sure you do that. Justifying it's not writing a number down. Justifying it's giving me some sentences and explaining why that is your answer. So all these things are very important. As we went further on into the chapter, the pie chart again also is important. Making a stem plot also is important. Remember, a back-to-back stem plot means you're doing two different things. Like say you're doing males and females. The males go on one side, the females on the other, but using the same stem plot. Split stems is when you go from like 0 to 4, then 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, so on like that. And remember, dot plots, how many times a number occurs is what goes on the x-axis, and then a dot for each time. So for instance, remember when there was those countries, instead of writing every country on the x-axis, you were just supposed to write the number of gold medals and then how many countries had 0 gold medals. There was a dot for each country. So make sure you work on that as well. Okay, really, that takes us through everything in chapter 1. I don't think there's anything hard in chapter 1 to understand. There's no crazy math or anything like that. It's all just, can I take these graphs? Can I do them correctly? Can I label them correctly? That'll be huge on the test. So can you label your y-axis? Can you label your x-axis? Can you title your graph? And then can you write a good conclusion about what's happening? The test, I can't remember the exact number of questions, but what you're looking at is maybe 7 or 8 multiple choice questions. So you're looking through some multiple choice questions first. That's the first half of the test. And then on the back half of the test, you're looking at 3 or 4 free response questions. Remember, a free response question is at least a 10-minute question. So take your time on it, work through it, see the problems, and make sure you're spending time on that. In all, you have about an hour for the test. Multiple choice, about 15 minutes. The free response should take the majority of your time. That should take 40 to 45 minutes. So good luck, and I hope you do well. And if you watch the videos and if you're following through with this stuff, you will. If we have school tomorrow, even if it's on a delay on Thursday, we will have the parent night on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. If school is canceled for Thursday, then obviously, yes, parent night will also be canceled, and we'll move that back to the following week. But I would assume at this point, I'm thinking that we're looking at probably a delay tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Either way, You need to have your stuff done. You need to have it turned in. Remember, we're getting through, this is 5 homework grades now that you'll have a quiz grade as well and a test grade coming up here. So we're getting further along in the semester. You need to make sure you keep up with the course and do the best you can. All right, see you tomorrow.